stop trying to turn your spreadsheet into bookkeeping software. In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to use a spreadsheet if that's the option that you choose for your bookkeeping that isn't going to make things unnecessarily complicated and potentially land you in trouble down the line. So one of the things that I see all the time is people trying to create these overly complex spreadsheets that have all the bells and whistles and basically trying to replicate what a bookkeeping software built specifically for bookkeeping does in an Excel spreadsheet. And it's not going to work. Like, can you do it with a bunch of different formulas? Sure. But the problem is the second that you start putting in that many formulas and making the spreadsheet that complicated, if one tiny thing breaks, then the whole spreadsheet falls to absolute crap. And now you're losing data. Things aren't working the right way. You're trying to figure out what's broken and where. And it's a headache that you truly do not need. So this is the best way to set up a spreadsheet so that number one, you're getting the information that you need to file your Canadian business taxes. You're still fulfilling what you need with the CRA, and you're just not bringing unnecessary problems into your life. All right. So the first thing is your spreadsheet does not have to have 1,000,001 tabs. So I have a bookkeeping template that I sell, and literally it's how many tabs? I think it's 4 different tabs. If you include the setup tab, it's 5, but it's 4 different tabs. And the first 2 tabs, which are the ones where you're going to be entering your transactions, are the money in, and money out tabs. So before, actually, what I used to have these 2 tabs labeled as income and expenses. But what I found is that this ended up confusing a lot of people because obviously with your bookkeeping, there's a lot more than just income and expenses in terms of the actual category chart of accounts class, right? We've got income, we've got expenses, we've got assets, liabilities, and equity. So a lot of people are like, okay, I see income and expenses, but where do I record my assets? Where do I record, liabilities? If I get a loan, where do I put that? Because technically, and if you're being super accurate about it, they're not considered income or expenses. They're different classes, right? But in terms of using the spreadsheet itself, which is why I ended up changing the names to money in, money out, the important thing is that you are just recording money that is coming into the business and money that is leaving the business for whatever reason that might be. If it's income, if it's a loan, if it's owner's contribution on the money outside, if it's expenses, if you just purchased the asset, whatever it is, it's not necessarily important to look at it as, is it theoretically and according to accounting principles, income or an expense? It's just, okay, keeping track of money that's coming into the business and money that's going out of the business. So that then raises the question, okay, well, if it's not actually an expense or it's something else, then how do I really differentiate between the different things so that, I can build my financial statements and things go where they need to go? And the simple answer is this: just use specific names that make it clear what class that specific category falls under. So what do I mean by that? So anytime that I have a client who I'm working with, who we use spreadsheets, like for my catch-up bookkeeping stuff, when I work with clients directly, everything is spreadsheet based. So with the categories that we create or the chart of accounts that we create, I always have a little not suffix, I'm blanking on the word, but we have an extension for the name of the category that specifies and makes it clear whether something is income, an expense, equity, all of that good stuff. Right? Because the important thing when you're filing your taxes, it's not you don't need to build like a complicated profit and loss statement and a balance sheet and all of that stuff. What you just need to know is, okay, which of these 5 classes does this category fall under, so that your tax accountant, when they're filing your taxes, know how to treat it and where to plug in that number and they don't make any mistakes. So an example could be, let's say we have a category or chart of accounts called marketing. So what I will do if I'm using a spreadsheet, and what I recommend people doing if they're using a spreadsheet, is when you create your chart of accounts, you have a category called marketing, and then just put something like hyphen expenses. And then if you have a category called, oh, I don't know what's going on with my whiteboard, equipment, then hyphen, no, hang on, hyphen, that is an asset, right? So just put a hyphen, whatever class it falls under: income, expenses, liabilities, assets, equity. And that will make it clear as day to whoever is filing your taxes that, okay, this is how this specific category needs to be treated. That way you don't have to build profit and loss statements. You don't have to build balance sheets, because all they need to now do is take these numbers, or the numbers that fall under these categories, and plug them into the correct place depending on what they're actually for. Okay, so number one, do not worry about separating out income, expenses, all of that. Just have two tabs where you record everything. You can literally copy and paste the transactions from your bank statement, or download a CSV from your online banking, copy and paste those into your money in, money out tabs. And then the way that you tell the difference, whether it's income and expense, liability, all of that good stuff, is by the naming convention that you use for your categories. Okay, so this is step number one. Then the next thing that you need to make sure that your template or bookkeeping spreadsheet shows is the summaries. So like I said, I have a bookkeeping template, and if you do want to get that, I'll put a link for that in the description, and it has everything set up for you already, so hands off, you don't have to worry about it. It's literally plug and play. But the other two tabs that I have in my own bookkeeping template are the summary tabs. So I have summary tabs, annual summary and monthly summary. So what the summary tab shows is the information that you need to take to your tax accountant in order to file your taxes. So what the summary shows is the summary of all the transactions by category. So instead of your accountant having to go through a long list of hundreds or thousands of transactions to figure out the total that you spent on marketing, the total that you spent on rent, the total that you spent on vehicle gas, they can just go to the summary tab, where you will have each category like marketing, rent, office furniture, which is an asset. And like I said, you should have the hyphen, whatever the class is. So it has all of your categories listed, and then it has three columns, or columns for each category, showing different information that is needed for filing your taxes. So in this first column over here is the total. So total after tax, after GST, HST, all of that fun stuff. What was the total spent on each of these categories? So you have the totals over here. And then in the next column, you have GST / HST and the totals spent or that came in for income or money in transactions. So the total spent or that came in for GST / HST for each of the categories, and then the net amount. So that's the total minus the GST gives you the net amount. And it's important to have these three separate columns, because when you are filing your taxes, the different numbers need to be used in different ways. You don't file your taxes with this total amount over here. The number that's used to calculate how much you owe in taxes in terms of your income minus your expenses is the net amount. And then when you're filing your GST returns, you have all the numbers that you need right here. And then of course, these are totaled down at the bottom over here, and you can plug in the numbers where they need to go. So you'll have one summary for money in, and then another summary table with each of the categories and the totals for all of those categories for money out for each of your fiscal years. So if your fiscal year runs from January to December, then all of January to December data for 2025 is summarized in two different tables. This is money out. money out, one money out table, and one money in table. Okay, so these are three important things that you need to have separated and showing in terms of, or separated by actual category, so that it makes it super easy, super simple for your tax accountant to just grab the numbers that they need real quick and do what they need to do with those numbers. Okay. And then the other question, sorry, I'm just taking a look at my notes to make sure that I don't forget anything. So the other thing that then comes up when it comes to spreadsheet bookkeeping and people trying to turn it into a bookkeeping software in Excel is they're like, okay, well, if I have things like cost of goods sold, COGS, if I have mileage for my car, if I have depreciation that I need to record, how do I record that in my spreadsheet? And my recommendation is if you want to try and do it like on the go in real time, that is your prerogative. Feel free. I do not recommend it though. So what I recommend is having separate spreadsheets that tracks each of these throughout the year or month, quarter, however often you want to update your actual bookkeeping spreadsheet. And then within your bookkeeping spreadsheet, you just make what's called an adjusting entry. So I'll make a different video on how to do the different adjusting entries that are most common for Canadian businesses, but I do not recommend keeping track in real time of things like depreciation and mileage and cost of goods sold within the spreadsheet that you're using for your bookkeeping. Have a separate spreadsheet that tracks that information. And then at the end of the year, you can do it more frequently if you like. I generally only do my adjusting entries once a year at the end of the year when I'm just getting everything ready for tax filing purposes. But you just do what's called an adjusting entry for whatever information you have collected for these. So do not try to keep track of the stuff in real time in the actual bookkeeping spreadsheet, because it's going to get messy. Things will fall through the cracks. It's just going to make it'll confuse you. All right. I've seen it happen and it happens to the best of us. So I do not recommend it for things like this. Cost of goods sold, mileage, depreciation. Just do it periodically and make adjusting entries in your bookkeeping spreadsheet periodically, but keep track of these things in separate designated spreadsheets. And when you get my bookkeeping template, you do have the option of getting what's called the starter kit as well, which has all of these things. I think the template itself comes with a depreciation tracker, but for things like COGS, mileage, and a bunch of other things. There's a ton of different templates in that starter kit. You can also get the starter kit, which will help you keep track of these things separately, and then you can make the necessary adjusting entries at the end of the year or however often you want to do it. And if you have any other questions regarding bookkeeping and making sure, just keep on top of your numbers and making sure that your numbers are accurate and don't get you in trouble with the CRA, then go ahead and drop any questions that you have in the comments. It also helps me figure out what people want to know, and I can always make a video about your specific question to make sure that I fully address it. So go ahead and drop a comment in the comments section, or drop a question in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer that for you.